So I've decided to start a series to talk about my experience with an abusive therapist and going through the reporting process. So the first thing that I did was that I looked up Arizona's statutes for psychologists. There are a few professions that are regulated by certain statutes in every state. So I was going to be filing a complaint with the state psychology board, and I was filing it in another state. My therapist was no longer licensed in my state, so I filed the complaint with the state where he was practicing because that is the state where he had the potential to be doing harm. So let's talk about some of the statutes. Some of them are very straightforward, things like you can't have a sexual relationship with clients. Those things are pretty concrete. There are some, though, that are less concrete, and those were the ones that applied to my case, like gross negligence, which my therapist was ultimately found to be in violation of this. Another one would be harm in the course of psychotherapy, and then dual relationships. Your therapist is not allowed to, for instance, be both your massage therapist and your psychology therapist. They are also not allowed to be your friend and your therapist. Those are considered dual relationships that jeopardize the safety of the client. After I read about what I needed to do, which was to file a written complaint to the State of Arizona Board of Psychology Examiners and submit all of my evidence, that began a very long dig into my computer files. I had a tremendous number of files to submit, emails, photos, text messages. When I was doing this, though, I didn't just dump everything on a flash drive. I actually read through every single one and tried to find categories for them. Like, these are examples of times we went out to eat together. These are examples of physical contact that was happening. And I organized them into folders. And then in my written statement, where you want to try to keep that fairly concise and you just want to stick to statements of fact, I referenced those files in my statement so it would be easy for them to find the evidence to support what I was saying. So I want to pause a moment here to just say that this was a very difficult process. Going through these messages was absolutely gut-wrenching. It brought up so much pain, and I would just say that if you're in a similar position, you should definitely make sure you're well supported, take breaks, engage in your real life, because I was looking at the past and I definitely had to make sure that I wasn't just being sucked back into that. So I'm going to pause the video here and probably start a second one because I think I've dumped a lot of information. And in the next video, we can go more into what happened after I filed the complaint.